Today we will learn about JSP. Now this JSP stands for Java Server Pages. What is this Java Server Pages? This Java Server Pages or a JSP is a technique using which you can develop web pages that support a dynamic content. It means it allows you to put the Java code inside your HTML code. Now, as you can see on the screen, that we have written a very simple HTML code. HTML tags, head, title, body, paragraph, all these things are there. And in between, we have written this Java line. So basically, JSP, Java Server Pages, JSP, it allows you to embed Java code inside your plain HTML file. How you can do that? You can do that by these tags. I mean, your JSP code, your Java code will start and end with this kind of symbol: angle bracket percentage and percentage angle bracket. Within these kind of brackets, you can write your executable Java code, which will get executed when you load this HTML file, when you load this page, web page. So when we will run this particular example that you are seeing on the screen, it will load a web page. It will load a web page, and it will fetch the current date and it will print it on the screen. Print it on the web page. How you can create a JSP file or a JSP program in the NetBeans? Let us try to understand that first, and we will see few programs. So you can go to File, New Project. Inside that you select this web application. Up till now you were selecting this Java application option. Here for creating a JSP, you select this web application option. Click on Next. Mention the project name of your choice. Then click on Next. This requires a server setting from your side. So there are various servers available that you can have it. Okay, I have installed this Glassfish server in my system. So I have installed this Glassfish server. I will select the appropriate server and Java version. So more recently, it works perfectly fine. It works perfectly with this Java Enterprise Edition 6 Web. You can select this option. Click on Finish. It will take some time and it will create a project. It is creating a project. Okay, so it has created the project. Now it is opening the project. So this project is created. Inside this tab here, web pages tab, one default. By default, this index.jsp file is created and nothing is written in it. Simple by default hello world is there. So let us try to simply run this file and let's see how it works. We clicked on, we right click and say run file. See, this is the output. This is the output. Say it has a new web page, a default JSP page gets loaded, and since you have written only the static text, that is hello world, to get printed, so hello world is getting printed here. Now if you want to say have your, what you can say, a default, let's say you want to write this, you want to execute this particular program. Along with the hello world, if you want to print the system date, so how you can write it like this: angle bracket percentage is equal to stands for expression. It will evaluate to particular value and it will get printed over here, and percentage angle bracket. So this is your Java code embedded in your HTML file. So let's try to see the output of this code. So this is the output. Along with the hello world, it has fetched the today's data, like Tuesday, May 4, 10/8/15 IST 2021. So this kind of dynamic content, wherever it is required in your web page, static HTML text, static HTML web page which you have developed using normal HTML, plain HTML, you can use this JSPs to you can have your dynamic content like embedded in your HTML web page. This is how this normal JSP works. Whenever you want to write a JSP content inside your HTML, you should use this format: angle bracket percentage. Whatever Java code you want to write, you can write it here, and it ends with a angle. It ends with a percentage and angle bracket. Here it is another example wherein if you want to print the IP address of your system, current IP address, inside the HTML, this is your normal HTML, you can simply embed your Java code. Inside this this scriptlet, inside this angle bracket percentage, what you can say, the syntax. So whenever this page gets loaded, you will see the output like this: hello world, and your IP address is, and whatever your IP address, it will be fetched and it will get displayed onto this web page. Now here in JSPs, you can have declaration, like you declare variables in your program, Java program. Int I is equal to 0, ABC. You can declare various objects. Okay. So if you want to declare something, you have to use this kind of a format: angle bracket percentage exclamation sign. So here exclamation sign, it indicates that you are declaring something. So declaring a variable, declaring an object, like this you can declare. When you want to write certain expression, just now we have seen one example for expression. See, percentage is equal to. Whenever you want to evaluate, whenever you want to write some expressions, you have to use this symbol: angle bracket percentage is equal to, followed by the expression in the Java language. You can also give comment in JSP. So comment in JSP, the format is like this: angle bracket percentage dash 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 dash, followed by the Java code, and it ends with a dash dash percentage sign. So whatever is the content that you have written in between these two percentage dash dash symbols won't get executed. It is as good as commenting in your Java program. Just like you comment it with the backslash and backslash star, you can comment it in JSP like this: angle bracket percentage dash dash symbol. This is a sample program wherein say you can write any logic in JSP. So here what we have done, we have declared one variable. Explanation sign indicates that you are trying to declare. We have tried to declare one variable. Integer day is equal to 3. So day is a variable of type integer that we have declared, and it is equal to 3. Then we have written a normal HTML code. HTML head, title, body, and inside this body, what we want to do is we want to check if our variable value is equal to 1 or 7. If this particular day value is equal to 1 or is equal to 7, then we want to print today is a weekend. Else we want to print today is not a weekend. This is our logic. So you can see this is Java code that we have written in angle bracket percentage. Normal HTML tags are there in black color here, and all the Java code is highlighted in the blue color, and this Java code is written inside this special tags which are meant to be written for JSPs. So see, this is your Java code. It is written inside the special tag. Now today is weekend. It is a normal text. Okay, so it is written in normal paragraph tags. Now this else, it should be evaluated like your Java code. If else, it should get evaluated. So it is written inside this special tags. Then this message is a normal string message. It should get statically printed, static text. It should get printed. So it is written in normal tags, and this is a closing bracket. So this is how you can write your simple if else logic. Also, you can also write if else logic in your JSP. If you want to write your switch case, so basically all the programs that you have written in Java, including JDBC, you can write it using JSP. So here you have declared this day variable of type integer and initialize it to 3. So since it should be evaluated, it is written inside a special tag, and since you are declaring it, it is prefixed with this exclamatory sign. Then you have written this HTML body. Inside this HTML, you want this switch case to get executed. Since this switch case is a part of Java code, it is written inside this special. It is written inside this special format meant for JSP. And then you have written a normal switch case, just like you write it in a Java code. So int day is equal to 3. So whatever is the case gets executed. For 1 it is Monday, for 2 it is Tuesday, for 0 it is Sunday, for all other it is Saturday. Appropriate output will get displayed. You can even write a for loop. inside JSP like this. All the initialization part and Java part inside this special syntax. Rest of the things are only the plain HTML code. So for this loop, and whatever is the output will get printed over here. So this is how you can write basic while also. You can also write while. Now we have certain directives in JSP. What we have certain directives. Now what do you mean by these directives? Now we have seen various kind of formats till now, like you can write a simple JSP using angle bracket and percentage type of tag, and you can embed your Java code within it. If you want to write say expression, angle bracket percentage and exclamatory sign, your tag should start with this symbol, and then you can declare anything. If you want to evaluate certain expression, you should start with a percentage and is equal to symbol, so that it is meant that it is a expression. You can write all your basic commands like if else, while, for, switch case. Even you can create classes and objects. You can create functions. You can give a call to functions. We'll see few examples of that also. You can even create your JDBC connection inside JSP. When you load this particular page, you should be able to fetch the data from the table and whatever data has been fetched, you display it on this on the top of that web page. This kind of operation also you can write it using JSP. Now JSP directives. Now what is this directives? It has basically three kinds of directive. One is page directive, include directive, and taglib directive. So basically what is the purpose of these directives? So this directive affects the overall structure of your JSP. Overall structure. So overall structure means, suppose you want to say import certain packages. Suppose you want to import certain packages, import java.sql.star, import java.util.star. Suppose you want to execute this program. Okay, now here what you have done, you have written a simple HTML program, and inside this special tag you have written new java.util.date. Now the same program can be written in this way also. Now the same program can be written, say, in this way also. So here what you want to do is you want to import this particular package, java.util.date package or java.util.star or whatever package, whichever package is required in your JSP program. If you want to import it, then you have to use this page directive. So it starts with the angle bracket %@. So @ indicates that it is a directive. So which kind of directive you are using? You are using a page directive. There is another kind of directive, that is include directive. This is how we can use @include directive. So here we are seeing the example of, say, page directive. So @ indicates it is a directive. What kind of directive you are using out of three? You are using a page directive, and there are various parameters. There are various attributes in this page directive. These many attributes are there. So which attribute you want to use? Now you want to use import attribute. So you want to use import attribute. So what you want to import? You want to import this particular package because you need this class related to date in your program. So once you have successfully imported this java.util.date, you can create an object of a date class. Since date is imported, you can create an object of a date class. Since this is a Java code, it is written inside this special tag. All the other parts of this code are HTML. And here you want to print message like this: today's date is, and whatever date is generated here in this Java code, you want to print it like this. So you have written it like an expression. So angle bracket % is equal to the variable that you want to print, and it ends with the percentage and angle bracket. Let's try to run this program and see how it prints. It will print like today's date is, and whatever today's date is, it will be printed onto the web page. So earlier we have seen the date printing directly without any directive. Here we have, this is the example of a page directive. I mean, how you can see, so today's date is. So today's date is, this is the entire date format, which it has loaded and printed onto the web page. So this is the example of page directive, because you have used here a page directive. Inside page directive you have various attributes, like you have attributes in your HTML tags. You have attributes here in while using JSPs. So you can, here we have imported, here we are using this import attribute for importing the file. So this is the example of a page directive. Now let's say you want to use this. So here we have in this PDF file we have given examples of all kinds of, say, attributes, how you can use different kinds of attributes in your program. Now this is include directive. So include directive means, let's say you want to create a header file, you want to create a footer file, two different JSPs. This is the third main JSP file, and inside this main JSP you want to refer this particular file and as well as this particular file. So if you want to do this kind of operation, you can use this include directive, and you can use this file attribute. Like how you can use it? See, I have created here a main JSP. Inside main JSP, what I have done, I have written angle bracket %@ include. It means we are using here the include directive command. The file attribute is here, and first we want to use this header.jsp. So header.jsp's code will get executed, and whatever is the output, it will be pasted over there. After that content, we want to print thanks for visiting my page. This is the static text that I want to print. And after that, I want to print this footer.jsp file. Now, what is the content of this header.jsp? Let's go to the header.jsp. In the header.jsp, what I have done is, here we have declared a variable page count is equal to 0. And we have written one function void add count. So whenever this function gets called, it increments this page count value. So initialize the page count value to 0. Every time this particular page gets loaded or this function gets called, the value of this page count gets incremented. And here we have given a call to that function. Whenever this page gets loaded, the first thing is this function gets called. Then in normal HTML file is there, and we have written this web page or this site has been visited for this page count. Say 1 number of times, 2 number of times, whatever is the value of that page count, we will print it over here. So this is the content of my header.jsp. And what I have written in footer.jsp, simple text I have written that copyright and 2010. This is the only static text that I have written. Now let's go to main file and let's run this file to see the output, how it calls the header.jsp, how it calls the footer.jsp, and how that page count gets incremented every time when you visit that particular web page. So I've run this file main.jsp. So this is the output. This is the output. The first time it is 1. This has been loaded twice. So this website has been visited 2 times. Now let me refresh this page. So see the counter is getting incremented. This web page has been visited 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. Every time I refresh, it gets incremented by 1. So this is how you can say have your multiple web pages created. Suppose you want this particular copyright at C2020 in your 5 or 10 web pages. So instead of writing this particular line 5 times or 10 times into say in different codes, what you can do is you can create one simple file, and with the help of this include directive, you can simply include it into your different file, so that whatever is the output of that, you will get it. It is simple like as creating a functions, simple header file, simple functions, and including it whenever you require. Okay, so this is how you can have your say include directive working in your JSP. So this is how this include directive works. Again, it also has so the same program is there in the PDF as well. Okay, as you refresh this main.jsp, you will find that the page hit counter keeps increasing. Okay, another one is tag lib directive. Now it also what you can say, JSP allows you to create your own tags. It allows you to create your own tags like HTML tag, like your P paragraph tag, like your all the predefined tags are there. Okay, predefined tags are there. But using taglib directive, you can create your own tags. Okay, so here it has created a tag, say my tag hello. So whatever is the functionality defined for this hello tag will get executed. You might remember that while studying the file handling, in the very first program, what we have done is we have written a function p, and inside function p we have written system.out.println, and while using in the program, while calling while printing many things in the program, we have given a call to this p function. So whenever we give a call to p function, that particular p function internally gave a call to system.out.println, and the message got printed. In a way, what we have done, in a way we have saved our time in writing this big line system.out.println multiple number of times in a program. We have basically created a shortcut for it. So whenever we call p hello, so it will internally give a call to system.out.println and hello gets printed. This example we have seen while studying the file class. So similarly, you can create your own tags. And using these tags, you can assign certain functionality. Whenever this tag is used, you call this particular functionality. So basically, that particular functionality gets called. So this is basically a shortcut or a shorthand operator kind of a thing. So I'll create a different video for this and I will upload it so that you can refer it later. Now JSP objects, like we have seen in the in this what you can say stream class, they have three implicit objects defined, say in, out and error. So in is basically object which is responsible for input, which out is responsible for connecting it to the output stream, and error is basically connected to your output stream, which is responsible for displaying errors which may occur in your program. So JSP also has this 9 automatically defined variables, or 9 implicit objects are there in JSP. You can use these objects if you require them in your program. So we have mentioned the list of all these 9 objects here and a brief description about each. Okay, so we have used this request object earlier while printing this the IP address. Okay, when we have seen this example request.get IP address function, when we have given, so we have used this request object. Okay, so this is the example. Here we have seen few, 1 minute. Okay, so here we have written one example for this JSP request. Okay, JSP request, how this JSP request object works. So basically we have written a program wherein first we have imported 2 packages, java.io.star and java.util.star. Much like you import it in your Java code, here also we have imported it, and using the page directive. Here you can notice here it is a page directive. Using this import parameter, we have imported these 2 packages, and this at the rate it indicates that it is a directive. Which directive? It is a page directive. So this is your normal HTML code, how you want your HTML page: width, border, color, header name, header values, all these table rows. You have created a table, and how your table should look like. This is your normal HTML code. And here you have written this, what you can say, a Java code embedded inside this special tag. So this is your executable Java code. This is your executable Java code. And basically how it works, basically it will request the what you can say, the web server for say certain parameters, and it will print it like this on your web screen. It will print it like this on your web page. So how it works? So first we know what do you mean by enumeration. We have seen this enumeration class. So request.get header names. So whatever the attributes, these are the header names parameter. Okay, so these header names will get all these parameters, while header names dot has more elements. So first it will run for this parameter, second it will run for this parameter, third time it will run for this, fourth time it will run for this. So while you have more parameters to read from this request header names, so that particular while will iterate these many number of times. And first time it will print, it will get the header names from header names next element. So from your header names, this attribute, it will fetch the element first, and it will store in this param name string kind of a variable, and in the first row, first column, it will print it. So first value is, that is, say host. Second time, param value. So second value is this localhost colon 8080. Next time, this, while it has more element, yes, it has many more elements remaining. So next time it will read, this connection. So connection will be placed here, and what is the value of this connection? That is keep alive. This keep alive function, its keep alive value is placed over here. So whatever is the default request, I mean this whenever you give a call to JSP, so basically JSP gives a call to it, the call goes to your web server. From your request goes to web server, and from there it processes the JSP, and in turn it returns a JSP response. So whatever is the default output you want, whatever is the default values, you will be able to see it here like this. So this is how your JSP request parameter works. Okay. Now this is a sample program for JSP response. This is a sample parameter for JSP response, wherein this kind of output you can see it on the screen. Auto refresh header example. Auto refresh header example in the sense, let's say you want this particular watch, a running watch, running clock on your web page. Running clock. I mean you don't want to refresh it. Earlier what we have seen in this example, that when you refresh this, this counter increments by 1. But say you want a particular watch here, and whenever this web page loads, it should start with the current time, and it should, the watch should be running. Seconds, it should increment seconds, minutes and hours, it should be running watch. So basically you can implement that logic using this particular program, wherein we have used this response object of a JSP. How you can use this particular example? Okay, so here we have imported this, import the IO package and util package using this page directive. Then here you have started your HTML code. Till here HTML code is there. This is your HTML body. Now here you want to set the refresh time for say 1 second. So like this. So this is your Java code. So it is embedded within this special symbol, and till here it is a Java code. So it is your end of a Java code. Now you want to say refresh. You want to say request once, but you want response from the server after every 1 second. So what you have done is, you have used this response object, and you have set that you refresh this particular web page after every 1 second. Now get the current time. So this is the class using which you can get the current time in your calendar object. Here we have created one string, that is AM/PM. So calendar class, get hour, you have stored it in hour, get minute, you have stored it in minute, get second, you have stored it in second. So from this calendar object you have segregated, you have separated the value of this hour, minutes and seconds. Now if calendar.am/pm is equal to 0, now you have initialized whether you want AM or PM. Okay, now whether you want AM or PM, you have here you want to display it like this, time and AM or PM. So this is the logic for displaying AM/PM. Now here you have string concatenation, hours, colon, minutes, colon second colon along with the AMPM, and you print it, this string value, the concatenated string over this web page, and it will be refreshed after every 1 second. So initially when you load this program, when you run this program, so current time will get printed, and this, you see this second counter, it's incrementing, it's automatically incrementing. Okay, so this is how you can create it. Let's try to create this program and see whether it is working or not. So you can create like this: go to web pages, click on new, create a new JSP. So here you can give a different name, say time example, some name of this for the JSP, time example for the JSP. A blank JSP file gets created for you. Now here you want to say import. Here you want to import this particular package like this. So you can say import it like this. We have imported it. Okay. Now here we want to copy this entire code. Now let us save this file. Let us run this file. So this is the counter. So the page is getting loaded after every 1 second. See 10, 38, 8, 9. So initially the current time was loaded, and from current time it is incrementing with your web server's time. So incrementing after every 1 second. Okay. So this is something about JSPs in brief.